afternoon. This is the audio test for the 5 p.m. meeting of the Bluffton Town Council, scheduled for today, Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. This is the podium microphone. From the dais, microphone 1. From the dais, microphone 2. From the dais, microphone 3. From the dais, microphone 4. From the dais, microphone 5. Chair. From the dais, microphone 6. Microphone 7. On the dais. Microphone 8. Testing microphone 8.
No, I don't. We get up to 5:30, but I didn't take a break, so that's why I'm on.
He was playing ahead.
This concludes the audio test for the Bluffton Town Council meeting scheduled for 5 p.m. today, Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. This stream will be back live at the Gavel at 5 p.m. Thank you.
We've always been Tuesday, March 10th, and we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most Heavenly Father, we come now asking you to guide us to be the peace agent you want the world to see. Father, I ask that you bless our hearts and town so the things that we say while we're in public will represent you. Father, I ask that you give us your grace and mercy so that we represent this town and the wisdom to do it with dignity. These and all other blessings are in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, up first we got the adoption of the minutes. Council, is there any changes?
No.
Is there any changes?
None from staff. If council has none. No, sir.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous, with the exception of Dan. I should have said that Dan's out, not going to be here tonight. His father passed away, and he's gone to make arrangements and stuff to take care of him. So, all right. Up next, we have, I guess we have to hold that off, right? Presentations, celebrations, and recognition. There's a bunch of them. Up first, we'll have Beaufort County School District Character Student of the Month.
And this month we have Maylin Pina Molina. Did I say that almost right? She's a 5th grader at Red Cedar Elementary, and her character trait is perseverance.
Want me to share her letter about
I
her?
want, yeah,
Perfect.
come up here and brag on her. You come up
I'm
here.
going to. My name is Audrey Paney. I am Maylin's. I was her 4th grade teacher and her 5th grade teacher. And when we were picking someone for Student of the Month for perseverance, instead of just kind of thinking about what they did that year, we reached out to previous teachers. And when we reached out about Maylin, the thing that kept coming through about her from kindergarten was that she never gives up, that she works hard. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the letter that we submitted for her. The 5th grade team is proud to nominate Maylin Pena Molina as Student of the Month for perseverance, a trait she has demonstrated throughout her entire time at Red Cedar. As we prepared this nomination, we gathered input from many staff members who have worked with Maylin over the years, all of whom shared the same message: Maylin never gives up. Perseverance means continuing to work hard even when tasks are challenging. And Maylin has shown this quality consistently since day one. She truly exemplifies the character education trait of perseverance and is highly deserving of this recognition. Academically, Maylin's journey is inspiring. As a kindergarten and 1st grade student, she faced challenges across all content areas. Learning did not always come easy, but what stood out most was her determination. She willingly took on every task presented to her, even when it was difficult or frustrating. She approached learning with a positive attitude, understanding that growth takes time and effort. Because of her perseverance and consistent positive attitude, her progress at every pace was especially meaningful and rewarding to witness. When Maylin began receiving resource support in 3rd grade, she was reading at a kindergarten level. Rather than feeling discouraged, she accepted that challenge and worked tirelessly to improve. Through consistent effort and determination, Maylin made remarkable gains. She has since been released from any extra services and now is not only reading on grade level, but performing among the top students in her class. She continues to embrace challenges and works hard to master new concepts, never settling for less than her best. Her determination also shined during her occupational therapy sessions. Initially, she struggled with some basic skills, such as throwing and catching a ball, as well as coordination, skills like skipping and jumping and doing jumping jacks, and negotiating reciprocal stepping patterns. But through her hard work, patience, and perseverance, she mastered these skills. Her growth allowed her to confidently keep up with her peers during recess and physical education classes, reflecting her dedication and resilience. In addition to her academic and physical growth, Malin's creativity is another area where her perseverance shines. She's a talented artist who takes pride in her work. She enjoys writing stories that highlight her amazing sense of humor. Through her art and writing, she shows confidence, creativity, and a willingness to express herself, further demonstrating how far she has come.
Wow.
So, she's awesome.
Sounds pretty Well, you have anything? Do you want to say anything to anybody?
Should we get in the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I got it, thank you.
Here we go. Marcia, turn it up. Marcia. Congratulations. Good job. Up next, we have SOAR Special Olympics Disability Awareness Month Proclamation. The town of Bluffton recognizes the importance of promoting awareness and inclusion of individuals with disabilities. Disability Awareness Month is an opportunity to educate the public about the challenges faced by individuals with disabilities and to promote their rights and well-being. Bluffton is proud to support the Special Olympics Area 8 Spring Games, an event that celebrates the abilities and achievements of athletes with disabilities. I, Mayor Toomer, along with Bluffton Town Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March to be Disability Awareness Month. Do we have someone to accept this?
Unfortunately, the athletes are stuck in traffic on Hilton Head and weren't able to come and accept this, and I'm very sorry. But we thank you very much from SOAR and Special Recreation.
Great, and we'll see you at the games.
We'll see you, thank you, and
Yep.
thank you to the town too.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. I got it, thank you.
Up next is Beaufort County DSN, Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month Proclamation. More than 500,000 South Carolina residents and families are impacted by severe lifelong disabilities. We owe a debt of gratitude to the caregivers who selflessly provide support to our residents with disabilities and special needs. Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month celebrates a successful partnership between the people with and without disabilities, as well as the increasing involvement of people with disabilities in education, employment, and community activities. I, Mayor Larry Toomer, along with Bluffton Town Council, do proclaim the month of March to be Development Disabilities Awareness Month. And do we have someone here? Come up here. Do you ladies want to say something about your program, what you're doing? Do you want to say something?
No, disabilities and special needs is just where we take them, every element, and make them feel normal, just like everyone else.
Great. Okay. You want to hold this?
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. I got it, thank you.
Awards, 26th Annual Telly Award, Beaufort County TV.
Oh. Up next, we have the Beaufort, 46th Annual Telly Award, Beaufort County TV for the Bluffton Christmas Parade. Vincent? There he is. Good. So you want to?
Yeah, I'll say just a few words, and then I'll call out a few names. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for having me, giving me a little bit of time on your agenda this evening. My name is Vincent Verga. I'm the Director of Broadcast Services for Beaufort County Television. We cover and broadcast all the town council and committee meetings, along with other productions such as graduations and parades. which is why I'm here this evening to announce and honor the many Town of Bluffton staff members who helped us with the production of the 2024 Bluffton Christmas Parade. The Telly Awards honor excellence in video and television across all screens. This won't take too long. Founded in 1979 to honor local and regional and cable television commercials with non-broadcast video and television programming added soon after. The Telly Awards annually showcases the best work created within television across video for all screens, receiving over 13,000 entries globally from 6 different continents and all 50 states. Telly Award winners represent work from some of the best, most respected advertising agencies, television stations, production companies, and publishers from around the world. And I'm here tonight to proudly announce that BCTV submitted the production of the 2024 Bluffton Christmas Parade, and guess what?
What?
In the category of general live events and experiences, we won a bronze Telly. A little bit more. The live broadcast of the Bluffton Christmas Parade is a cherished local tradition. As for its broadcast history, the primary broadcaster has been BCTV, Beaufort County Television, formerly known as the County Channel. A lot of people still call it the County Channel, that's fine. Beaufort County has broadcasted the parade since 2011, actively improving the broadcast each year, growing from stationary cameras only to wireless cameras, walking around in the parade, adding drones of aerial footage, and great interviews with parade participants and, more importantly, the parade fans. BCTV has consistently been the go-to source for watching the parade from home, offering live streams and recordings, as the tradition is a big draw for the area. Without the partnership, hard work, and many hours of hard work and dedication from the devoted and passionate staff at the Town of Bluffton, none of this would have been possible. And as a token of our appreciation, I want to present to you at the Town of Bluffton a Telly Award statuette. I will be calling up the individuals who helped us and their role at the nationally award-winning Bluffton Parade production. Please give a big round of applause as I call these names. I'll show the statuettes here. They're pretty cool. Oh, should have unwrapped it. These are fresh, as you can tell. So here they are. I'll call up a few names. Carrie Guzman, stage manager. Organization, very impressive. Organization guru. Miss Angie Castellion. Did I get it? Assistant stage manager. Carrie couldn't have done it without Angie. Angie couldn't have done it without Carrie. Mr. Bob Charles with IT. Is Bob here tonight? Bob's great. We can do all the planning and organize we want. When we plug everything in, if it doesn't work, it's of no consequence. So without Bob doing the IT for us, none of this would be possible. Kevin Icard for the timer.
And it's a really important job.
I was about to say, you don't realize how important timing is in a parade until you're part of the parade. Timing is literally everything. Otherwise, you know, everybody's bumping into each other. Miss Christine Smith as camera operator. Christine gets some of the best shots at the parade, so we always enjoy having her. Thank you, Miss Christine. And then Miss Debbie Spanka as the parade host and announcer. We affectionately refer to her as the parade diva. I don't know if we gave her that name or maybe she gave herself that name. But either way, she does a fantastic job. And last but not least, our good buddy and colleague, Mr. Mark Robinson, who's unable to attend tonight due to illness. We're going to give a statue for Mark, and you ladies can, and gentlemen, can provide that to Mark at a later time. So that's it. Big round of applause. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you at next year's parade. Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you gotta get the trophy.
Okay, up next, we have our annual utility.
Yeah. You want the other one or just the one?
Just the one.
Am I holding the right way?
Yes. Put your fingers covering.
Oh.
There you go.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Annual utility update. Palmetto Electric Cooperative and Dominion Energy. Up first is Palmetto Electric Cooperative, Ashley Feaster, Community Affairs.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, town staff. Thank you for the opportunity to provide a brief update on behalf of Palmetto Electric Cooperative. First, I want to briefly touch on vegetation management. As you know, this is often a topic of interest in any community. Palmetto Electric completed our most recent round of tree trimming in Bluffton last fall. We are pleased to report the work went smoothly, and we appreciate the collaboration with town staff throughout the process. Regular vegetation management is one of the most important things we can do to help prevent outages and maintain reliability for our members. Our next scheduled tree trimming cycle in Bluffton will take place in approximately 3 years, and as always, we'll coordinate with town staff in advance to make sure the process runs as smoothly as possible. In addition to vegetation management, Palmetto Electric has ramped up our system-wide maintenance program with a strong focus on switchgear upgrades and transformer replacements in Bluffton and on Hilton Head. The goal is to proactively replace aging equipment before it fails, helping us reduce outages and improve overall reliability. On average, we are currently replacing about 20 to 30 transformers each week, depending on equipment availability. And over the past year and a half, we've replaced about 580 units across the system. Despite continued residential and commercial growth in the Bluffton area, service reliability has remained strong. We've consistently met our reliability goals for the past several years, and 2006 is already off to a strong start for overall system performance. Another project we're very excited about is continued growth of the Don Ryan Center. Through our statewide economic development organization, the South Carolina Power Team, Palmetto Electric was proud to support the Don Ryan Center's newest expansion, the Cove. Through a combination of South Carolina Power Team grants and utility tax credits, Palmetto Electric has provided $1.2 million toward the facility's landing pad. We believe the Cove will position Bluffton to attract and grow innovative companies from around the world, reinforcing the town's reputation as a place where great business and great people want to call home. Another initiative I'd like to highlight is broadband expansion. Following the pandemic, as I know I've talked to you, a number of you about, Palmetto Electric partnered with Palmetto Rural Telephone Cooperative to bring fiber broadband service to rural parts of Beaufort, Jasper, and Hampton counties, a program we call Palmetto Link. That project was completed over about a year and a half ago and has significantly improved connectivity to those communities. We're now building on that success. Palmetto Link is currently partnering with developers in East Argent and Okatee, and we're evaluating additional opportunities to expand fiber service into other parts of southern Beaufort County. And on an internal note, Palmetto Electric was recently recognized as number 15 on the list of best places to work in South Carolina. And as someone who works with our team every day, I can say this recognition reflects the incredible people and the cooperative that we work with and work hard to serve our members and the community. And finally, I do want to touch briefly on an important legislative effort that we have going on at the State House. Electric cooperatives and the utilities across South Carolina are supporting legislation, House Bill 5058 and Senate Bill 808, that would provide additional protections for utility workers and other crews who restore critical services during disaster responses. The legislation would establish misdemeanor penalties for harassment or threats toward restoration efforts and crews, and also create felony penalties for assaults or actions that endanger workers during an emergency response. Unfortunately, these types of incidents do happen, and they do happen during major storms and restoration efforts, and they slow down the ability of crews to safely restore service. The bill would apply only after the governor has declared a state of emergency, and it would protect not only electric line workers, but also crews restoring telephone, internet, water, sewer, natural gas, and road access. Beaufort County Representatives Bradley, Herb Kurzman, and Newton are all co-sponsors of the bill, so please thank them the next time you speak with them. In closing, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate the town's partnership. We look forward to continue working together to support Bluffton's growth reliability, and economic opportunity. Thank you all for having me this evening.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Any questions? Next, we have Dominion Energy. Blakely Williams is Economic Development and Local Affairs Manager.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Thank you so much for having us tonight. I know you all are familiar with the work that Dominion Energy does, so briefly let me reiterate that we provide regulated electric utility service to 3.6 million homes and businesses in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, as well as regulated natural gas service to 500,000 customers here in South Carolina. As the operator of public utilities, we understand that how vital our mission is to provide reliable, affordable, and increasingly clean energy. We go to work every day with the awareness that if we don't carry out our mission, no one else can carry out theirs. With me tonight is our Southern District Manager and Professional Engineer Evan Wheeler and our arborist Tread Dixon, and both are available for questions or comments should you need them this evening. I wanted to round out a project that I briefed you on last year, the Hardyville to Bluffton transmission line. I'm happy to report that project is now complete. The good news is we recently completed this project just at the end of 2025, and the benefits are that it was built on existing right-of-way. The structures went in roughly the same places where our existing structures were, and we replaced wooden structures with galvanized steel. And this is good news because it will replace aging infrastructure, and it improves resiliency throughout our community. Updates for this project as well as during this project, we also were able to build a new distribution line on this corridor from Persimmon Street to Buckwalter Parkway. And this is great news for our neighbors and friends along Buckwalter Parkway. So those neighborhoods are going to see a redundant feed that's going to improve resiliency and reliability for those friends and neighbors. That same theme of resiliency, we added a second feeder at Palmetto Bluff. And this, too, will increase reliability and accommodate the growth that's coming in that neck of the woods. A project that I know you all are interested in is the Bridge Street project. The Bridge Street project is an overhead to underground utility conversion project. Pike Construction has been selected as our subcontractor, and they're finalizing their plans right now. As soon as we get the approvals and the okays from Pike, we look forward to briefing town staff to begin easement acquisition. Our lighting department continues work on Bridge Street and Pritchard Street, as well as other improvements to the downtown area. While exact timelines are not yet firm, we anticipate beginning on our lighting projects this summer and completing many of those by the end of this calendar year. I'd like to pivot to discuss the importance of vegetation management. Trimming and maintaining right-of-ways is critical to resiliency and reliability. Like Ashley talked about, this allows for faster restoration. It prevents outages in the first place, and it increases safety for all of our friends and neighbors. Right now, we are trimming trees in the town of Bluffton. Lewis Tree Services is our subcontractor, and Tread Dixon is available to you all anytime, 24/7, and our customer service is available for any of your constituents that might need further help and support. Our team met with the team staff in December to review the routes and the timelines, and I'm happy to report that the first route that we're working is 43% complete as of today. And our plan is to keep working safely and efficiently to complete our work by the end of April. We can't stress the importance of the right tree in the right place, and so we've come up with this educational piece, and we've shared this with town staff in hopes to implement preventative measures so that knowing that when new builds are coming and new landscaping plans are being reviewed, that this will help all with knowing where the right tree in the right place is. And we're so proud to work with the town, and we thank you for your partnership, and we are happy to be with you all and answer any questions or concerns that you might have. But thanks again.
Thank you. Any questions for Blakely? Okay. Moving right along. Up next, we have the Beaufort County Economic Development Corporation update. John O'Toole.
Mayor, Council, thanks for having me in tonight. Paul Arbentites has got like a bracelet on my ankle. If I go long, I will just like fall to the ground. So I'll try to be pretty swift about what I'm doing here. It's great to be before you. Let me just see how I'm doing here. I know how I'm doing. This is a little outline of what we'll try to cover, and you all have this in your packets, right? So I will get through it quickly. I know you have a lot of work to do. Many of you may have taken advantage of the conferences that we offered over the last 2 weeks on our work. And if you didn't get that and you would like to partake in that, just let us know. But our vision's pretty clear. We try to be the facilitator, getting people to work, and it's really great to follow two great partners, the two energy companies you just heard from. What we're looking to do, what our passion is changing the quality of people's lives, and we'll show you how we do that. Our budget request is $42,000 in the upcoming year, which is the same level you're at currently. And I hope that as I go through my presentation, you don't look at this as an expense, but you might consider it a way of building tax base in Bluffton and a way of providing better for your residents, as I know you have a laser focus on it. In terms of results, in terms of job growth, our MSA is doing quite well. Obviously, South Carolina is one of the leading states for growth. Our growth in this MSA exceeds the state of South Carolina and the United States. In terms of how we stack up against other MSAs in the state of South Carolina, I think as you look at Myrtle Beach and you're at 54% over that period of time, you're probably grateful we are not that high because, as you know, growth puts a lot of pressure on what we all love about the area and also infrastructure. But we stack up very well compared to areas that you might love and know: Greenville, Columbia, Spartanburg, Florence, Sumter. When we look at our results year to date, and we've enjoyed a lot of success in Bluffton over the last 2 years, being able to work on some pretty neat projects. Our year runs like yours does from June to July, but we're just under $60 million in investments and 60 million and 165 jobs, and they're good paying jobs. Sometimes people say, well, what are the quality of the jobs you're creating? And we have that there for you. Since inception, I would expect by the end of this year, we will probably be over $1 billion of investments that we've had the opportunity to work on over the past 9 years. Just under 3,200 jobs. Average comp was about 60 over that entire time. When you look at what's happening to the quality of the jobs we're attracting, and you look at that graph, in the last 5 years, the rate of pay has increased by 90%. So hopefully your residents are the beneficiaries of that. And as I speak about economic development in Beaufort County, I hope that you understand that we are a larger community. Beaufort County, obviously, Bluffton's a big part of that growth. As you can see before you, in the last 5 years, 2,600 jobs, and a lot of people are getting compensated, nearly $170 million a year in compensation. So that's good. In terms of our metrics, and again, looking at it from your point of view, okay, over the last 9 years, you've paid $247,000 into this operation. We've seen $198 million invested in Bluffton specifically, 402 jobs, and that'll be going up with the healthcare investments going on. The salary, just over $93 million paid to people who live in Bluffton. And again, just think of that, 247, and what we've been able to do with county funds is provide incentives to companies and also $130,000 to the Cove project. But you've had 580 come back to companies in your area. Our approach to work is obviously focused on the right-hand side: jobs, taxes, income, which we're all aware of. The companies we work with, trying to put them in touch with companies that they can do business. But when we're not doing that, we try to have a hand in public policy as it pertains to housing, community development, workforce development, site development, and then economic development, making sure we're getting out and visiting companies and have our ear to the ground. Our plan of work, and Chris Forster and Stephen Steese participated in a session we had last week to look at our work plan, and that was well received. Am I forgetting somebody, Stephen?
Councilman Hamilton was there as well.
Yeah, you were sitting right at table number 5. Yes,
Hamilton,
and Fred Hamilton was there. I apologize. Thank you, Stephen, for fidgeting. I would have missed that. Thank you. And Fred, thanks for being there. I apologize. I know we spoke that day. In terms of projects that we're working on right now, Spartina is one where we provided in the last 12 months a $30,000 grant. Their investments over $6 million, 15 good jobs. And that came as part of our ongoing visits with industry. This company, CS Instruments, Chris Foster could tell you more about this project because it was his swift movement that sealed the deal for Bluffton, getting a call at about 10 o'clock from our project manager, Kelly Brunson, agreeing to be at lunch with them when the CEO was in from Germany. But that's a low country welcome that we try to provide through economic development. Jet Zero, a cutting edge company out of California. They've made their national decision to locate in Greenville, North Carolina. But what they're finding is that they can hire people from Gulfstream in Savannah and Boeing in Charleston. And so Paul and the great team at the Don Ryan Center, I'm saying that so he doesn't hit the button and I fall to the ground. No, we've got a great team there, but they've inked a contract at the Cove with this company, and their sales team is working out of there. At the same time, their propulsion engineers are working out of our Beaufort landing pad. So just a great collaboration that we have with the Don Ryan Center. And if you attended Converge, you would have heard about that as well. Beaufort Memorial, Kelly Brunson worked with them. We provided a grant to Beaufort Memorial to make their entrance into the market, and their building's coming along quite well. Dolnick Properties, great work, again, by the team here in the city. In talking to Mr. Dolnick last week on the Cove turned out quite well. The building right behind Kroger's of 6 spots, 5 are leased, and we're working, actually Kelly Brunson's working with them to market his buildings. Coast Guard facility, we lost out on the Coast Guard facility to Birmingham, but we thank the mayor for taking a regional approach and being supportive of that. And we have ongoing discussions now with the Navy to get some other operation in that underutilized facility. In the last 18 months, we've had what we call business retention and expansion meetings with 18 companies. We've touched or served another 24 companies. In terms of marketing and attraction, again, Chris is very active on our board. After the New York election, Chris suggested that the mayor, Mondami, was not that popular in New York. It might pose a great marketing opportunity for us. So as you can see from those green areas on Staten Island and Queens, where the mayor of New York received 23% of the vote, we, again, Kelly Brunson, is working on a digital marketing campaign to attract investors from that area. Similarly, the map to the left shows you Tampa, where we're targeting financial service companies that are not too happy with their operations being in Tampa. One thing to note is sometimes economic development is relationships. These campaigns were suggested to us by board members. Kelly Brunson applied for a grant on a Friday. She said she would have applied on a Wednesday, but it took me 2 days to sign the grant. And by Monday, this digital campaign was funded by Santee Cooper and by extension Palmetto Electric, so we're very grateful for that. We continue to market existing buildings in Bluffton, and we have the Converge program, not only the summit, but we also have a TV show where we try to help you get your message out and get our message out. And again, the mayor and Paul have appeared on that show recently. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And I apologize,
Thank you, John.
Paul,
Any questions from council? Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Up next, we will have an update on the Beaufort County Transportation Penny Tax Advisory Committee.
Oh. There we go. Okay, thank y'all for letting me give you a quick update. They're only about 10 slides and about 2 minutes worth of talking. First of all, thank you for putting me on this Transportation Advisory Committee with Beaufort County. For those of you who don't know and those of you who are leaving, we are putting it on the ballot in November, and we have a wonderful group of people who are on the committee that sit with me. These are the names. You can go to BeaufortCountyPenny.com and see their bios, but it's really interesting. All age groups, very diverse, several who are on past committees, several who are past elected officials, and then we have one of my favorite people who sat on LATS with me, Craig Forrest, who's a former DOT commissioner. Very focused on the purpose, and the meetings are really great and productive. We've had 4 meetings. I only highlighted 3 because the first one was just an introductory to get me to be chair, I think. I'm the chair of the committee. We've had 2 municipal meetings. Last week was Stephen, and Stephen, you knocked it out of the ballpark. It was really liked. I sent it to people who weren't there. They were quite impressed with really the background of where we were and what we are and where we're going to go. And after that presentation, we need transportation to get all these workers to their jobs. So we meet tomorrow at Hilton Head Island at their town hall, and y'all can see the meeting dates on that. It is also on the Beaufort County Penny. Beyond the committee's work, you can see the schedule that County Council has. May 11th, they'll discuss it, go through a resolution, 3 readings, to get it to the state by August, and to get it on the ballot Election Day, which is November 3rd, and we'll be here before you know it. So, they quizzed us on my first meeting, and I didn't have any of the right answers, but we were actually the first penny transportation tax in the state, and it was passed in 1998. 1998, and then we had 2 others since, 2006 and then 2018. What have we done with all those pennies? Well, we invested almost $300 million into our infrastructure. 170, we remember the 2-lane road of 170, so we widened 13 miles of that. New River Crossing improvements, 278, east the bridge, which is called the Corridor Project. Expansion, and really an expansion, the creation of the Bluffton Parkway, improvements on 278 and 17 corridors. Ladies Island has as much transportation woes as we do. They did traffic upgrades for them, and then sidewalks and multi-use paths. So, I'm going to go through another few slides because I even said it myself. Why are we passing another penny in 2024, which was the last penny that failed, and we haven't completed the 18 projects? That is going to be big on everyone's minds this year. This administration, new administration, COVID has come and gone. The 18 penny, we didn't know COVID was coming, but it hit us about midstream into trying to do the work to get this penny, the projects completed. But they are committed to completing the projects that are on the 18 list, and you will not see any carryover of projects from the 18 list on this list. This is really interesting, and I was told this. If you think through the process, and y'all can go down Alljoy Road, and it just took forever and ever, and I ride down there and I'm like, it's just a pathway. It is a sidewalk. What's taken so long? Well, easement acquisition. We all do it with our sewer projects. We know how long it takes. Design, permitting, not just through the state, but also through federal agencies. Property acquisition, utility coordination. An example, and it happened even with Bluffton Parkway, but the Boundary Street improvement was completed 13 years after the 2006 penny and 7 years after the collection had finished. It takes time. But I'm proud of the county for committing to the 18 projects, even though it's taken a little longer than we all expected or all thought about. This slide shows you the 2018 penny projects. Very few, well, none went through the town limits, and we had a few that touched the town limits. So a lot of this is Ladies Island Corridor. You see that 2 are completed. The remaining are in design, and the county council voted to put 3 of the projects on hold. Sidewalks. Well, we have Bluffton Parkway, that's completed. That was 8-foot sidewalk that connected 46 to the circle. Alljoy, Burnt Church Road is going to be a 6-foot sidewalk, and they've had those meetings. That's in design. And Alljoy Road, if you haven't been down there, I would drive down it. They're pretty close to getting completed, so they're working really hard on that. And again, decided to put a few projects on hold. So, another question. Why doesn't the state do this? These are state roads. Why doesn't the state pave the roads we need? Well, another fun fact, we are in the top 4 in the country of numbers of miles of roads in our system. We have 41,000 roads in our system in the state of South Carolina, yet we're on the bottom 4 to 10 states in the country in terms of size. So we have one of the smaller states and one of the largest collection of miles. They have focused on interstates and bridges, and that is all they're going to do. That is all they're focused on over the next 10 to 20 years. So a penny tax really is the tool available to any county to really address issues that we see on a daily basis. These are the 3 pennies, 1998, 2006, and 18. The largest penny was in 2006, collected the most money. We are looking now into how long and how much. That's one of our tasks, so more to come on that. So this is the site, BeaufortCountyPenny.com. If you go on it, you see the top tab, Home, Proposed 2026 Referendum, Referendum History, and 2018 Referendum Projects. If you click on Proposed 2026 Transportation Referendum, you'll see the minutes of all our meetings. You'll see videos that the Beaufort County Channel is taking of all the committee members, just to get you a feel of who's sitting on the committee with me. But if you click on that 2026, you'll see another tag that says resources. If you click on the resources, then you're going to have a graphic similar to what Ryan does for the town, where it's interactive. You can see the projects on the left as they're collected, the county's putting them in. On the right is more information, or you can get the screen and click on any of the yellow dots to see what projects were uploaded. Any project that a citizen submits, any project the towns submit, or the county, we will upload on that map. So it's very static, and it'll change. The other thing we're going to do, which a citizen in Beaufort County gave us the idea, is create a spreadsheet from that map, and it's going to be sortable. We're going to have the category, the project size, the project source, if there is one. What jurisdiction would it help? Sometimes it's going to help Bluffton and Beaufort County. Sometimes it's just going to help Bluffton or one of the other municipalities. Is it new? The project status, the estimated cost, the estimated time to start. So that is going to be very helpful with this committee to really rank the projects. We probably have 50 now, and there's no way the county can do 50 projects, nor can we raise enough money. So the criteria, Stephen asked last week, what is the criteria? The committee wants the municipalities, and they're very focused on the municipalities, which made me smile. They want us to rank in some fashion what's important to each municipality. So Stephen asked about the criteria. Safety, evacuation routes, hot spots. Thank you, Chief, for all the work you do on that. Transportation movement. And then the county council has given us very clear guidelines. Widening, resurfacing, which also includes paving public dirt roads, and intersection improvements. So with that, this is part of Stephen's presentation. Last week, it is on Beaufort County site. I would urge everyone to look at it. It's just super informative. We highlighted 5 projects that affect Bluffton. The 170-46 roundabout, all the way to the Jasper County line, US 278 and 170. That's also a big project the county is very interested in. Simmonsville, Buck Island, intersection improvements, and then the years 1 to 5 and the roundabout from the Bluffton Parkway study. So that's kind of my homework to give to y'all. I need it before the last municipal presentation, which is in 2 weeks, but you're not going to have another council meeting until then, and we need it before your next council meeting. So I need you to think through that. I'm happy to take them back with me tonight, or y'all can discuss it, and if Stephen can let me know, that would be really great. It's a really good committee. I am learning more and more. Y'all, we've got to have this. I'm educating, but I can advocate. We need this penny. If we don't have this penny, think back to 18 to now with the traffic. Number one issue on everyone's mind is transportation, from our own survey and from the Realtors Association survey. They know it's important, and there are projects that the new county administrator said we can start year one. So we're going to start getting boots on the ground, signage to publicize the work that's being done. I think we've missed that the last 20 years. No signage to celebrate what we're doing. With that is my last slide. I'll leave it up. If y'all want to discuss, if you have questions. Stephen, I don't know how best to get a ranking. Maybe you have a suggestion.
So I really don't have a suggestion, but I would just say that we, again, the ones that we highlighted, we figured this was former Mayor Salk and I talking, is if we were to go through and identify 5 that we felt that would have the biggest impact in and around Bluffton, those were the 5 that we kind of picked out just because they, and these are based on the LATS long-range transportation plan projects that were identified. Same thing we've been talking about for a while, as well as trying to address evacuation routes to make sure we can get people out safely should it have to occur. So these were kind of the 5 that we pulled out. They affected 46 from the roundabout. And with that, I would also say what I threw in when we were talking was for them to include the next 3 intersections that they designed at Stardust,
Old Palmetto Bluff,
and Gibbet. So we would ask for that to be included in there as well. The intersection 278, 170, some has been done, but there's still more to be done and completed, as well as intersections on 278 that she mentioned, and the Bluffton Parkway, just because we already know several of the intersections there are at capacity and have been identified for years 1 through 5. What I relayed to them is if they wanted us to rank them to kind of give us a criteria. Do you want a top 5, a top 3, a budget limitation? They didn't really kind of come out with that, so I think 5 would be a good base, and that's why we went with this, but it's up to council for y'all to discuss and see if you feel that any rise to the top that you would want Lisa to go back and make sure she fights for to have as a top priority, or the top 3 priorities for the community.
And if you just want to, listening to you, if you just want to say these are our top 5, I can take that. I will tell you, since 18, we also created our MPO, and we now have LATS that has done all the studies, engineered, some are in design. Most of the LATS studies are unfunded. There's no money. We are putting our money, as y'all all know, through LATS toward the Backwater Bridge and 315 going to Savannah. That's where the majority of our guide share went for 10 years. All of the ones that aren't highlighted are in the county's plan, on that map that I showed you. So they're not going away. I just love the committee's want of the municipalities to chime in, because we are the boots on the ground, and we do see it every day. So you can say those 5 are great. I will tell you the others are going to be on the list, but what does the town think is most important? So I don't think we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can say, hey, I think all of them aren't highlighted. I mean, it really is up to y'all. So
If you would want me to give one more statement, I'd be willing to say this. I think if you had to pick out the top 2 that would benefit the residents the most, that wouldn't necessarily be on the list that the county would adopt, that it would probably be the roundabout and the widening there, and then the Bluffton Parkways. I think those would be the ones that would probably have the most direct benefit on our residents, just inside the town limits. But that would, again, it's up to the council, and y'all hear from the residents and citizens all the time.
Okay, I'll Emily, any comment you want to?
No, thank you for agreeing to be on this committee. I'm glad you are representing us. I think you're doing a great job with it. I agree with your 5 top. I would love to see all of these get approved. If I had to pick a top 2, I agree with what Steven said, the roundabout to Jasper County and the Bluffton Parkway. But I'd really like to see all 5 of them stay on the list.
That's good. That's good feedback to
With
take
your
on.
addition of going to the 3, the skip it.
intersections.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
that's important.
Mr. Hamilton?
I'm going to take a different stab at it. I want to take a proactive approach that if the penny doesn't pass, then I think we need number 1 from the town to say if there's any funds, where would we go then? So I don't have that number 1, but I think that's what we need to look at.
So what I didn't say, tomorrow at Town Hall at Hilton Head, if they don't have the ability to live stream, they do record and put it on, and you can get it the next day, but Hilton Head should have the live stream capability because they're doing it in Town Hall. Stephanie Rossi with LOCOG is coming. Most of that committee is very unaware of MPO, LATs, studies, very unaware. They're unaware of what Jasper County's penny is doing. Jasper passed their penny. And she's going to present Jasper own, because that was a big concern over the committee members. My question to Stephanie, so this money can be spread out, y'all all remember 6, there were different funds for projects, impact fees, grants, and the penny. What of these projects have a chance of being funded in the next 5 years? So this penny doesn't have to go to every single part of the penny, which somebody said call it a nickel because we're not making pennies anymore. But what this 1%, how can we make the most of the money? So that's my question to her, is funding. And I will ask that question for you as well.
Ms. Frazier?
Just echoing some of the sentiments, I'm grateful to see you on this committee. I think you're going to be a good asset for us. Mayor Pro Tem Hamilton's concern, I think that's really important to note, because we know that sometimes these referendums aren't always successful. So I have 2 questions on that. Last comment, I do support the suggestion of what you stated and what Stephen followed up on in terms of our priority with these. First question is, what's the plan from the committee in terms of how is this communicated to the general public to kind of help bolster support for this?
Thank you, and I think I've heard from all of y'all, asked some questions, and I still have to hear from the mayor, but I hear now 2 of the projects are top priority. Elected officials cannot advocate. I'm not elected, so I can advocate. Our committee can advocate and educate. The county is in discussions with someone to take on the reins to hire a marketing company to do the advocation. I was on a call with Jared with a wonderful lady that does this and got a penny passed. She can either educate or advocate. And I told the county, I'm not sure if we don't need both. So you can't start advocating until May, but you can educate between now and May. So that's going to also be a question, but the plan is to have an outside source. We all watch Splost in Savannah. I never saw the Jasper, but never saw it on TV, to do advocacy. But we cannot advocate. Y'all cannot advocate. So any groups, I'm fine to go talk to them. This group, when we find them, we'll talk to them. I feel like we need those stakeholders, the bike groups, the Rotary clubs, the school districts come in to talk to us as well, and they have supported it. The Realtors Association has supported it. So, I mean, in theory, with their survey, they know transportation's important. So this is so new. We're 5 meetings in, and I think we're like deer in the headlights with all these projects. But toward the end of April, we're going to have all the presentations, all the public submissions, and then we're just going to go through it and rank it. And that's where I think the spreadsheet will work, because we can sort it, just cost, and it's a big jump because we have to figure out number of years and how much money and the projects that benefit all of Beaufort. So that's the plan.
Well, it sounds like y'all are there. I definitely agree that educating and advocating is going to be crucial. And my last question, more is a comment too. So I see we have 5 priorities up here. For the first one, it's from 170 to 46 in a roundabout. I'm concerned there on the lack of inclusion, or I could be incorrect, of all of 46 in terms of coming down even further into the town. Because when we think of how folks evacuate, we know they're split ways in terms of those who are going to be going north down that way to, from 46 to 170. But there are also those that are going to be taking that from our area to go up to like 16 over Talmadge and all that. And how 46 is now, it's already like a bottleneck, congested type place. So are there any plans to include a discussion on the entire Route 46, or is it only limited to this area?
Well, these are limited to this area because they're in our town limits. The circle coming east, the majority of that's in the county. And yes, the county has that project to continue Stardust, Gibbet, and Old Palmetto Bluff. I don't know about the widening part of it. But they definitely have that in their, kind of in their.
When they studied it, they didn't come all the way down. They stopped, I think they stopped at like, may have been Old Miller Road. I don't think they came any further than that, but that was as far as the study went.
You mean, yeah.
The one that was completed by the county in Latz.
Right. Really great studies. Mayor, yes. Sorry.
You got more? Couple of questions for clarification. 278 and 170, we're calling that Bluffton County, but that's in the county.
Correct.
Right.
Well, no,
The town
170.
limits do touch the intersection there.
Yeah, these are just limited to Bluffton. They're saying projects that impact
Yeah, but they're
Bluffton.
just limited. See, some are just totally on
You know,
listed as
this-
county projects.
This actually was didn't you do the numbers on, these are old numbers. This would tell you an estimated 2025 estimate. If you did all these projects, kind of, you see what we're up against. This, with a 20% contingency, 2025 numbers, let's just bump it up. It's going to be well over 600 million if we did all of those projects. And we're not even going across the Broad River Bridge yet.
Right.
Now-
I was just trying to take that in consideration.
Okay.
If we are asked to rank,
Right.
we're supposed to be ranking projects that are within the town limits, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So it is my opinion, if we're going to rank, that I think from Jasper Line through the circle at New Riverside is the most critical and dangerous place we have in the town.
Okay.
Our other intersections come in this way, including Palmetto Bluff, and I don't know what they're going to do, but Gibbet Road is a serious situation too, as well as Old Miller Road. So I know those are kind of in the county, out of the town, and all that. But if we do the improvement from the circle to the Jasper County line, Jasper County's already started doing their improvements, as you've seen. It's kind of like Bridget just said, we're going to fix all that so traffic can flow better, and then everybody's going to be blocking the whole rest of the road coming this way, and, in front of the schools and all that. So I think that should be included if I had my way anyway.
Okay, so intersection improvements on the.
Even if we can't widen, May River Road, improving those intersections, because 90% of our accidents and people get hurt are intersections.
And a lot of what backs it up is people going left.
Right. If somebody wants to turn left coming out of Palmetto Bluff Road, then nobody can turn right.
Because it's all blocked up, which we're seeing that. I would be in favor of some of these smaller projects higher on the list, because if we got 5 things to do and we can do 2 little ones, They might not be the most important ones, but that's two things that are done. So it will help instead of waiting until all of them are funded or we get approval for it.
You talk about Simmonsville and Buck Island being the smaller ones?
Yeah, well, that's part of it, and all of the parkway improvements
Right.
are critical too. And not a ton of money. Those are some of the small things that I think that we could do, is show the people
That the money is being used and it's not just,
you know.
So I do agree about 278 and 170, even though at some point it does touch Bluffton somewhere
Right.
further down. But if y'all, I heard 170, the roundabout to Jasper, the smaller projects like Simmonsville, Buck Island, the intersections for Stardust, Gibbet, and Old Palmetto Bluff, and Bluffton Parkway improvements. Those are the intersection improvements, and then the roundabout is also part of the quadrant 2 of the Bluffton Parkway study. Am I right, Stephen? In it quadrant 2?
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Which is pretty much from Buckwalter to the roundabout.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah. So
Here's mud.
So what did you say about the 170? 278?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you could either I highlighted or Stephen. I think I highlighted them. I think I highlighted them based off of where it said Bluffton. And that is absolutely going to be part of the county's request, because every single person on that committee, every one of them come in and say 170, and it touches every part of our county, and the residents in Beaufort who are traveling down 170 to come to work in Hardyville, Bluffton, and Hilton Head, those residents are impacted in Beaufort. So 170, the whole 170, I would be shocked, totally shocked, if that wasn't the top project. Now, it might take the longer to do, and it might be an estimated time frame of later down the road, but I have no doubt in my mind that's not going to be a topic.
And part of that whole project relies on Jasper County, because one side of the road is Jasper County, one's Beaufort. So they've got to get all that coordinated and figured out. I was just thinking about the town of Bluffton. If we were asked to rank or list some projects, I know that's a mess out there. This triangle, Argent Boulevard and all that, it is. But I also don't, if some of these don't affect us at all, that are listed as counties, so if it's, I think if we start in our backyard and fix the most critical here, or at least list them.
well, we're not going to get our way all first when the money starts coming in anyway. We know that. So.
That's just my thoughts.
Okay, so say we had the money and y'all were ready to go. I'm hearing 170, the roundabout to Jasper County line. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Smaller intersection improvements, which are really small, and I think those could be fit in, and that affects our residents in Bluffton Parkway. Is that what I'm hearing?
Is this something you got to have when? How soon you have to have
Well, the last 2 presentations are the next 2 Wednesdays.
this?
So we have Hilton Head, and then we go to Beaufort. I just wanted it publicly known we need some thought. If y'all can get with Stephen, and he put it in an email to me sometime before 2 weeks from tomorrow, it would be helpful. We're not ranking anything until we hear it from everyone.
And I would say part of the frustration was this literally came up when I was presenting last week, when they asked me if councils would be willing to do this, and I said, I can take it back and be more than glad to ask, but we're going to need some parameters to be able to do so. That was the first we heard about it, was less than a week ago. So, and I also had to relay to them is we don't have a council meeting again until April, so it was a little frustrating.
But it was from the presentation that was on the spot. I am telling you, that committee, they don't come through Bluffton like we do, and they wanted to know what was going on and what's going to cause more traffic, and you know, what's going on. And they were very impressed by our presentation. So.
I don't think we need to look at this from Bluffton anymore. We have to look, Hardyville, Jasper, and Bluffton now has to be collaborative in our thinking and our planning. So we keep thinking Hardyville figure out what they're going to do and Bluffton figure out what we need to do. We're not communicating in an effective way that's going to bring balance.
The LATS group is bringing the balance because Stephanie, who is presenting tomorrow, and I'm sure it's going to be live, and if I will get the link and send it to Stephen, she is going to fill in those blanks of what Jasper's doing, what's funded through LATS for Jasper, and how we're going to complement each other. And the 46 roundabout to Jasper County line, we're complementing that. Okay. It's got to come to that circle, my thoughts, or we're just going to be bottlenecked further down the road. So I agree with you, and that has been the concern by this committee because they didn't know about LATS, and they don't know about the MPO. And we have 1 million studies and a great website. So she's coming to present tomorrow. Okay. So I think it'll be a very good presentation. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for what you do. And any other questions, you know where to find me.
Anything else for Ms. Lisa?
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing, Lisa. Thanks. Okay. Is it 6 o'clock? Yep. Yes. Up next, we have 2026 CDBG Needs Assessment. Ms. Kimberly Barn, CNED Deputy Director of Low Country Council of Governments. And this was, we're having public hearing, so we'll start the public hearing. I'll make the first call for comment on this public hearing. Second call for public comment. Third call for public comment. Comment is now over, closed.
Good evening to the mayor and council. Thank you for having me. I'm Kimberly Barn. I'm here on behalf of Low Country Council of Governments, and I wanted to go through our grant program and possibly see if we can do some things with other programs that you have going on. This is the 2026 Community Development Block Grant Program, which is funded through the South Carolina Department of Commerce. It is to help the units of local government with the economic and community needs for the persons of low income in the community. It was started in 1982 by HUD, and this year we have $20 million in the state of South Carolina for this program. They did have a draft action plan that was available in January and February. The comments have already been submitted on that one. We do community development, business development, and regional planning. And on this screen, you have the biggest part of what we do. The community infrastructure grants, we have $8 million in the state. The application request is due at the end of next week, and the application is due in April. That's the spring round. We can do improvements to water and sewer. We can do drainage improvements. And we can work on roads that were affected by water and sewer and drainage, such as if you have a bad road and you have to do some drainage improvements on the side, road paving can be part of it, but it cannot be a standalone. That program has $50,000 to $1 million available. The next two programs are in our fall round. Local Priorities has $2 million. We can do public health and safety, quality of life, resiliency in the digital divide. We've got $50,000 to $300,000 available there. This is also where you can do small parks and trails and greenway type projects, but they have to be in low income areas. The community enrichment has almost $8 million. This has a variety of projects, including demolition, downtown streetscape, regional infrastructure, libraries, some transportation facilities, fire substations or fire trucks, health clinic facilities, public facility modifications, and as a new one that came in last year is new sidewalks in LMI areas. So if you wanted to put this with what she was just talking about, I know we've worked with Buck Island, Simmonsville before in certain areas, so it may be that we could pair the two together so that you get more bang for your buck. There's 50 to 750,000 in that category. The next one is a ready to go 750,000 available for projects between 50 and 500,000. On those projects, all of the environmental and the engineering and everything has to be done. It has to be ready to bid. And then that will kind of fill a gap. Any of these projects must benefit low to moderate income persons, aid in the prevention of slum or blight, or meet another urgent need. A few years ago, we had a tornado come through and damage a building to the point that it was a severe threat. We do have some business development programs that's done through Commerce. The regional planning is to allow us to help at the COG to help our municipalities fund and plan the projects that they're interested in. There are bonus points for opportunity zone locations in the applications. However, Bluffton is not in an opportunity zone. Those should be updated this summer as best I understand as well.
Can we ask questions, stop you and ask questions as we go, or do you want to finish
Yes,
your
sir.
whole?
That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Question.
Fred has a.
Can you go back to the 750,000 ready to go?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
give some examples of how that funds have been used or could be used?
Those are for projects that you have designed already. You've got everything, all the engineering done, and it's ready to bid. So you've got all the prep work done. We do have to do a environmental based on CDBG regulations, which is very extensive. That takes roughly 4 months, depending on if it's in wetlands or not. And then that can be applied for at any time during the year. That's not a fall or spring. That's more or less to fill a gap if you get started on a project and find out you need more money than you have. And up to $500,000 is available.
Where have those funds been used in, for an examples of how we can understand the magnitude of this grant?
It's not used very often. The only one I can recall is a booster pump station that we had for a city. And once they got through the engineering, they found out that they needed more money than they had already committed. They had all of the engineering done and had planned it to be a CDBG, but because it came in at an odd time, it was not spring or fall. I think it came in like right after the fall had closed, and it was something that was going to be needed before the next round was available.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. As far as the threshold, you can have 3 open grants at a time. No 2 can be in the same category, and none of them can be over 30 months old at a time. Bluffton doesn't have any right now. You cannot have more than one streetscape project or more than one ready-to-go project. I would also like to say that the neighborhood revitalization program that we had here several years ago does not exist anymore. So you can do streetscapes, which is lighting, traffic lights, crosswalks, signage, that kind of stuff, or a streetscape. But the neighborhood projects have disappeared out of the funding. Just as a reminder, fair housing is the law, and it is definitely applied to the CDBG program. If you have any questions on that, or if you think you've been wronged by fair housing, you can call our office, 843-473-3990. For any of these areas that we call low income, if it's not a census tract or town limit, we have to go out and door knock to get surveys. Beaufort County's low income would be one person in a home making less than $61,700. If you had 4 people in a home, it would be making less than $88,100. So we would have to go out, either our staff or us in the town, and go out and get those surveys completed before the application is done. We also manage the Beaufort County Low Country Home Regional Home Consortium out of our office. That's for all 4 of our counties and all the municipalities. And the purpose of that is to rehab the substandard housing and make more adequate and affordable housing. This is done throughout the county in single-family rehab and new construction using developers and nonprofits such as Habitat for Humanity. There is an action plan on that is submitted to HUD at the end of April. All right, this last slide, I think this is using some previous information and is a suggested ranking. If you would like to apply for a grant in the spring or the fall, it must be in your top 3 priorities. But you are welcome to have as many priorities as you would like. I'd like to see if you'd like to rank those tonight, or if you'd like to come back and do it next month.
So the ranking that's here is what y'all approved last time.
Which I think was 2 years ago. 2024.
We have transportation and pedestrian safety as number 2, but what can we do to improve transportation and pedestrian safety on our own? I don't think that's, other than transportation, the only thing we have is the breeze, right?
Correct, but when you talk about pedestrian safety, that could be intersection improvements, crosswalks, like the rapid flashing beacons we put in, streetscape projects, stuff like that, all fall underneath pedestrian.
We still have more work to do in pedestrian safety?
Yes, sir. Next year, we're looking in the capital projects for next year. There's some bigger projects.
Okay.
Because we're still looking at certain things like getting people across the new Riverside Park over there, expansion of the beacon, the rapid flashing beacons we're putting out, some additional crosswalks and stuff.
Okay, good answer. All right, thank you.
And as well, it could be like bus routes or some shelters for the bus routes, stuff like that, I think would work in that category as well.
Okay, I think we just leave it as in the order that it's in.
Yeah, I think that ranking is still appropriate.
Do you, I think in the past they've voted on that. Do you need them to make a motion and approve
Yes,
that?
make a motion and pass that if you don't mind.
So I move to that the first 3 ranking remain the same.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I looked at Emily, Emily looked at me. So that's it, right?
Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Up next, we have public comment. And up first would be Miss Sharon Brown.
Am I on the one?
The only one.
During public comment, each speaker is limited to a total of 3 minutes per meeting, regardless of whether the person is speaking on their own behalf or as an agent for others. Meeting attendees may not donate, transfer, yield, or give all or any portion of their speaking time to another person. All public comments are to be conducted from the podium and directed to the town council as a whole and not to any member thereof. All speakers shall be mindful and respectful of those participating in or present at the meeting. Speakers shall be expected to be civil in their language and shall refrain from comment or behavior that involves disorderly speech or action, name-calling, personal attacks, threats, obscene or indecent remarks, and/or disruptive actions. All speakers shall confine their comments to issues under the jurisdiction of the town council. Speakers shall not use the public comment period to promote or advertise awards, businesses, services, goods, or candidates for public office. Any speaker that violates these rules and protocols for public comment may be ruled out of order by the presiding officer. Any person whose comments have been ruled out of order shall immediately cease and desist from further improper comments. The refusal of an individual to desist from further improper comments may subject the individual to removal from the meeting and/or a citation under Section 2-49 of the town.
I can come now? Yeah? Yep. I like it better when y'all read that. That really don't sound good. Good evening, Town Council. My name is Sharon Brown, and I'm at 163 Buck Island Road. How's everybody been doing? Did y'all miss me? I missed you guys. So I'm here to talk about the Buck Island Park. Pat Rooney and his staff did a wonderful job talking to us at the Oscar Frazier Park, but we didn't have a good turnout. One thing that he mentioned, he said that there was an advisory committee that had some input about the park. I emailed Heather and asked her, well, who was the advisory committee, because there should be some transparency there, because if we're talking about Buck Island Road, and we really appreciate when you guys had the advisory committee for Buck Island, Simmonsville neighborhood, that was an actual committee that came in and met to talk about Buck Island and Simmonsville Road. Well, it sounds here to me from Heather's email that this was just a put together committee for one time, two time, I don't know, but I do feel that we need an official committee for this park that is very relevant to our neighborhood. This is a very important staple piece of property that we will be developing, and those folks on those roads should have an input. It's not like it's just something that you guys are going to decide what goes in there. That park needs to be equipped with things for people with special needs, and we have elderly people as well, and of course green space. So I want you all to consider putting together an actual committee. I don't know who was on this non-transparent committee, and I don't know why I was not chosen. You know, I'm up here by ego now because I am a part of the community, and I do feel that I put a lot of input and I make a difference in my committee, in my community. So with that said, I did email on May the 2nd, March the 2nd. I haven't heard from Heather yet. I'm certain that she's very busy. But some questions that I would like to entertain when somebody does email me back is the transparency of who was on that invisible committee, and also in reference to their input. What did they input? What did they say about what they would like to see out in that park? A lot of people have spoken to me about what's going to go over there, so that means it matters to people in my community. And so I want you guys to consider, Heather, Chris, you look nice over there, to have an actual committee that meets with the residents in my community to know what we would like to see, not what you guys would want to put in there. Everybody's going to use it, that's fine, but it's a staple piece of property that from the Buck Island Simmonsville Road Advisory Committee, we were the one who asked Steve and them to look for green space for our community. Kudos, that's what happened. So now we should not be removed from that, from having crucial input on what goes on in our community. I want to thank you guys so much, and you guys look beautiful. God bless you. Have a great evening, okay? What time, and I'm getting good. Thank you.
All right, up next we have communications from mayor and council. I'll start with you, Frazier.
No, I don't have anything.
I have nothing.
The only thing, and it just goes with what Mrs. Brown said, but I'd love to know who is on the advisory committee at some point.
There is no advisory committee.
Okay.
we had some residents that Councilman Hamilton thought would be good for us to sit down with and get some input from. And so we sat down, I think there were 2 or 3, and Heather will be replying. She was out of town last week, so she's already got the reply drafted to Ms. Brown, and we'll send that tonight and outline that, and she can share that with all of council. And I would just say that was a misstatement by Pat and the committee at the meeting that there was an advisory committee, because that's not what it was. It was members that Mr. Hamilton wanted us to make sure we got input from that may not be able to be at the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we have formal agenda items. Consideration of an ordinance amending the Town of Bluffton fiscal year 2026 budget to provide for expenditures of certain funds and to allocate sources of revenue for the said funds. This will be second and final reading. Ms. Natalie.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, this is second and final reading for Budget Amendment 2 for fiscal year 2026. There have been no changes since the first reading. I'm happy to go through the presentation if you'd like to recap, but if not, I have the motion available.
Questions for Natalie from council? You want to hear all about it again, or?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented on the screen.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Came dressed up just to speak.
All right, up next we have a resolution expressing support for the University of South Carolina Beaufort Sand Shark 2020 project, creating a multipurpose arena and sports complex. Mr. Paul from the Don Ryan Center.
Mayor and Council, good evening. I'm happy to introduce Justin Rice. Justin is the area executive for the Low Country Division of First Citizens Bank and is the current board chair of the University of South Carolina Beaufort Education Foundation, which has been supporting the university's efforts since 2020. Justin is here to present the University of South Carolina Beaufort Sand Shark 2020 project and is seeking a resolution of support for this project.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Mayor and Council this evening. Appreciate your time. And tonight, as Paul mentioned, I'm going to talk to you about, real briefly, about our university down here in our backyard. The Sand Shark 2020 project phrase, I want to make sure we don't forget about that first 20 of it, which is the history of USCB. Not many people know that have moved here recently, but USCB is one of the youngest universities in the state of South Carolina. We started a little over 20 years ago, and when you drive down 278 towards Exit 8 into Hardeeville, you'll realize that's a beautiful campus, and it looks like it's been there forever, but it's only been there for 20 years. And Dr. Panu and his team in the previous administration, they've done a fantastic job growing that university to a little, right around 2,500 students. So it's been a great history to talk about, but now we've got to really focus on the next 20 years. We've got to grow that university because everyone knows if you're not growing, you're dying. And that's what the Sand Shark 2020 project is all about, is the growth of USCB in this region. So we do feel that there's going to be some significant regional impact with the Sand Shark 2020 project, and I'll go into the specifics of the actual phase 1 of this project a little later in my conversation. But one thing I want to make sure that everyone's aware of is that this Sand Shark 2020 project, it represents a strategic and fiscally responsible investment that will strengthen the cultural, educational, and economic, as well as emergency response capability of Beaufort and Jasper counties. And it's also expected to generate sustained economic benefits in attracting regional events and visitors, supporting local hotels, restaurants, and small businesses, and building upon USCB's demonstrated record of responsible planning and return on public investment. So where's the money coming from? That's probably the biggest question everybody's been asking as of the last year. Thanks to our local state representatives, they have allocated $47 million for this project. Now, I wish we would have started 7 years ago because that would have been right around the cost of this project, but with inflation, COVID inflation, tariffs, everything, that's not the cost of this project. So our team, as well as the team at the university, we're working diligently with county councils, town councils, private and public partnerships to help fund that Delta gap. and we're not 100% comfortable where we're going to land on that gap, but we do think it's attainable with the generous support of the state of South Carolina. So what is the campus going to look like? Hopefully everyone's been behind the Hargrave building. It's a gorgeous building, but there's a lot going on behind it. So if you initially look at that bottom right corridor or quadrant, you'll see box number 2, 3, and 4. That's what we're going to call our sports complex. That is going to have softball, baseball, and track and field. Currently, those facilities are not on campus right now. Not many people know that. I think the most important one, the one that gets a lot of buzz, is the actual Convocation Center, which is box number 1, which is just south of Highway 278. And that, we're still value engineering the seating capacity in there to try and come in a particular budget number. But as of right now, I think we're going to land anywhere from 3,400 to 3,700 seat capacity, which is significant for this area. And what that'll allow us to do, that'll allow us to move the basketball teams over into the Convocation and Arena. It'll also allow us to have basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments. It'll allow us to have trade shows, vendor-related type of shows, and also be a landing zone for the emergency responses if we do have another hurricane. Any questions on the location or these facilities? Perfect. Right now, I really would like to talk to you about our current operations. As I briefly mentioned, a lot of this is off campus currently. And for those of us that were able and blessed to go to a university, some of the joy and experience is staying on that university, walking from your school or from your housing to a basketball game, to a softball game. I mean, there's just something about that. And to have to get in your car and drive to Hardeeville, although they're fantastic fields we do enjoy and think we're blessed to have that ability to play out there and practice out there, it's not the same. It's not USCB. Currently, our baseball and softball, like I mentioned, plays out in Hardeeville. We do have a cost associated with going out there, and we also don't have priority, which is a frustration. We also have to have security out there for certain games, and again, it's just not that campus lifestyle we're looking for. Track and field, you may or may not know this, these are held at our local high schools, which, again, I'm going to continue to reiterate, is not the experience that our student athletes need. And basketball, we did convert about 3 years ago our rec center for the students into a basketball arena, and it houses approximately 600 people. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to go to a game. It is invigorating. It's fantastic. If you win in year 1, it's not the same as going in year 3 because it is almost at capacity. It's loud, it's vibrant, it's a lot of fun, and we know we can transition a lot of that into paying individuals over to the new arena. So that's where we're at currently right now with the current facilities. In closing, I think the next 20 years can't rest on the shoulders of Dr. Panu, myself, or the university. It definitely has to be a communal approach. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child. I think this is our child as a region, Beaufort and Jasper County. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I have 3 young children, and if I could do anything to keep them in my backyard, I'm going to do the same. Now, it's up to them if they want to stay or not, but I'd love to pat as much as I can into USCB to make sure that they see that as a viable option. And 2, this project will not only benefit the school, but as I mentioned earlier, it'll benefit the region and tax benefit, as well as bringing sports athletic tourism, as well as corporate tourism to Bluffton. And 3rd, I want to thank you very much for your time and the consideration and vote for the support of the resolution expressing support of the Sand Shark 2020 project. Any questions?
Any questions from council?
I have one. Do you plan on renting out the facility?
So yes, and we would plan on, you could rent it out for certain events, but we're also looking to have concerts there as well. And I think I might have breezed over that, which is probably one of the most important and exciting thing for the area is having smaller concerts. We're not going to get the capacity of the Charleston Arena or the Inmark Center, but having smaller concerts, and those would actually be managed by a third party. So we would be renting the facility out. The primary objective of the facility, though, however, is for USCB athletics.
Okay. And then what about, do y'all have any plans, or have you talked about a performing arts center, or will that be incorporated? Like, will that facility be used for that as well?
We do think it would complement what we're trying to do there. The performing arts facility would not, it's what, 640, what's the capacity of the Performing Arts Center?
We haven't moved anywhere close to finalizing any of that.
Okay, well, let's say it's
Or even if
600.
we're moving forward with that.
You know, it's a different venue, you know, we would be more of, you know, light shows, a little bit more rock and roll, I guess. So we think it would actually complement some of the things that you guys are doing as a town with the Performing Arts Center.
Thank you.
Okay.
Somebody like to?
We have a motion available to what's that? I have it in paper form there. Keep going. Okay. Keep going.
There's the proposed motion.
Somebody like to make a motion?
I move to approve the resolution as indicated on the screen.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Okay, up next we have consideration of accommodation tax advisory committee funding recommendation for quarter ending December 30th, 2025. Shannon Melroy.
So this evening, we have two applications that were received for your consideration. One being from the Rotary Club of Bluffton for the 2026 Mayfest event, and the other from Beaufort Water Search and Rescue to assist them with the purchase of a boat replacement. Our funds for distribution are $346,809. That's after collections from the state for last quarter and our standard allocations to the general fund, our DMO, our housing initiative. We did not have any lapsed grants from last quarter to add back into fund balance, so that left our remaining funds at $346,809. And here is a snip of how the scoring sheets were for both of those applicants. So our first application is the Rotary Club of Bluffton for Mayfest. They're requesting $25,000 for advertising, some facility support, the rentals of tables, chairs, tents, that kind of thing. And the committee voted unanimously to recommend an award of $25,000.
Okay, well,
Got any
questions about this one, or somebody want to make a motion?
I'd just like to know what was the request last year? Do you know that?
It was actually $24,000, so they went up $1,000 this year.
Anything from you, Ms. Fraser?
There's a motion to be made if somebody wants to make it.
I move to approve the $25,000 grant to the Rotary Club of Bluffton in support of the 2026 Mayfest event.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous, thank y'all. Thank you. Oh, for that one, we still got the other one.
One more. The second one is from the Beaufort Water Search and Rescue Organization. They requested $20,000 to go towards the purchase of the replacement boat. It will be used in Bluffton area waters. The committee felt that it was not an applicable use of accommodations tax dollars, so they recommended no award.
Questions from council? Is there a motion?
Move to support the motion on the screen.
Here's two of them, the top one.
Top one. Top one.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am.
You.
Up next, we have approval to authorize a construction contract with Sea Island Land Development, LLC, for constructions of Bridge Street Streetscape Phases 2 and 3. Fiscal impact of $1,512.92.
And then he
Got a lot of low
29
numbers on it.
cents.
29 cents.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Pretty close figure in there.
Yeah, I'm here again to offer up another construction contract for your review and consideration. This one is for the Bridge Street Streetscape Phases 2 and 3. This is the location of in the dashed red line, starting at Calhoun Street and moving westward down Bridge Street all the way to Thomas Hayward. So we're basically picking up where we left off with Phase 1, and we're going to do the same thing in Phase 2. Not quite as much impact of construction, but drainage and streetscape. So this streetscape scope of work includes a lot of drainage on either side of the cove. We're trying to reduce stormwater runoff and improve water quality that enters into the May River through the cove. So that's one of the major components of it. Also includes some additional on-street parking adjacent to the Montessori School and Sparklight. And there will be a sidewalk on that side of the road as well, from Calhoun Street to Sarah Riley Hooks, which a crossover boardwalk across the cove there at that location. But basically it's a paving, repaving, and it's a street lighting project. So we bid this project with an invitation to bid back in January, and we received 4 bids. All the work was performed in accordance with the town's ordinance, purchasing ordinance. So these are the 4 bids we received on February 5th. Sea Island Land Development was determined to be the lowest priced, qualified, responsive, and responsible offerer. We had a range from $2 million down to $1.2 million, and we had 2 bids that were very close to that $1.2 million range. So we feel like it was a good competitive bid. So our request tonight is for Town Council to authorize the Town Manager to execute a contract with Sea Island Land Development for $1,210,393.83. Additionally, we'd like to request a 25% contingency, and then so the total fiscal impact for the streetscape construction is $1,512,992.29, and that's within the budget that y'all approved for this project. So next steps, if y'all approve this contract, then we would submit the contract for signatures with the town manager and the contractor. We would initiate a pre-construction meeting, and at that pre-construction meeting, we would set the notice to proceed, and we expect that to be sometime in late April, and we expect the construction to take till this fall, 2026, conditionally on the weather conditions. So with that, I'll answer any questions. In addition, there's a proposed motion for your consideration. Any questions?
Yes, sir. You go back a couple of slides, please. Right there, right there. Have we done business with Sea Island Land Development before?
I do not think we have. We've done reference checks on them. They are doing work in the area. They're doing some work, I think, for the school district. I don't know if that's exactly right, but I know they are working in the area, primarily located in Charleston, but they have other work. They're working in this area right now.
What about Gerald Brothers?
They're out of Hardyville, and they've kind of taken over some of the operations from JS Construction. They took a lot of that out. But they've been close on a lot of bids that we've had recently. I kind of expect them to win a bid eventually. But in this case, they were $6,000 more than the low bidder. And this is an invitation for bids, so we have to have a good reason to select somebody that's not the low bidder. And we don't. Gerald Construction is a little newer company, but they're located out of Hardyville.
Okay, we did have a recommendation, somewhat of a understanding that we would try to give business to the local contractors at one point.
Yeah, neither one of them are Beaufort County, and Gulfstream same way. I do not know about JHC Corporation. They've bid on a couple of projects, but they've been way high on all of them. So I don't think anybody, they fit that with Bluffton businesses. Bluffton business, they're all out of county.
The Sea Island is out of Charleston, right?
Yes, that's their base operations.
Go to the next slide, let's see where we are. Right there. 25% contingency. That number keep rising. Whose decision is that? Is that the contractor's decision or ours?
That's what we're requesting on this. And it's based on two criteria, basically. It's the complexity of the project, and then it's also what we have within the budget. When I say complexity of the project, if we're excavating, doing a lot of excavating in historic Bluffton, we always seem to run into communication lines or unknown lines that are out there. It happened with the sewer project. We just came back for some additional funding for that because of the same kind of reason. So, and then the second item is how much do we have in the budget after we receive the bids? If it's higher than we expected, we may not have 25% that actually ask for a contingency. We may have 10% or 15%. But in this case, we have it within the budget. And we're concerned always when we're excavating in the historic district of what we might find. It's happened on a lot of projects. It's happened on May River Road.
You convinced me. You can stop. You convinced me.
Excuse me?
You convinced me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So is this, any questions from you, Bridget?
I have one question. I just want to confirm that you did have a community meeting regarding this project.
Long time ago. It's been a while, but we have, yes.
Okay.
It may be good to do one just to let people know that the project's getting ready to start once it's awarded.
I think that's a good idea. I did see the signs up, so I know that y'all are making people aware, but I just wanted to make sure their input was taken into consideration with whatever. I don't think we saw a picture of the final project tonight, but with whatever that final project ended up being.
So my only question, are we maintaining the same look that we have everywhere else?
Yeah, I mean,
You know, with the brick.
yes, yes.
Sidewalks or what we have now are 1920 sidewalks, so.
That first 200 to 300 feet from Calhoun Street to the Cove will look identical to the other side. But the project from westward of Sarah Riley Hooks is primarily just repaving and street lighting. That's what so that's not really going to change much.
No new sidewalks down by Oyster Factory Park?
Not once you get past Sarah Riley Hooks, it'll tie back into the existing sidewalks that are there. We will replace some that are broken up. We have that in the contract. If we have sidewalks in poor condition, we'll replace those.
Why did we decide to not make that look like the rest of the areas? Since it is a well-walked and traveled, a lot of times people park there and go to Calhoun Street or whatever. Was there a reason for that or just?
I think it is. I mean, I think it's that first 100, 200 feet or so will look identical to what's across the street in phase one. The parking's the same, pavers, the sidewalks are the same. I mean, it's asphalt. But once you get past the Cove, the project really just needs to be repaved, and we need to replace torn up sidewalks. That's what, and add street lighting, of course, down the whole street. So that portion, of course, would be consistent with the other side as well.
Okay. Anything else from council? That motion's not showing for us here.
That's because Fred took me back.
Someone want to make a motion?
I move to approve the motion on the screen, even with the 25% contingency.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion should include Fred, if he could save that 25%, we can make it pretty all the way down there. That's right.
Okay, up next we have a resolution to accept the updated historic resource survey. Mr. Glenn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I bring a gift tonight. This is the survey that we're going to talk about. So your item for action tonight is to accept this document, all 381 pages with graphics and color photography. The background under our UDO, section 2.2.6E, the Historic Preservation Commission has the authority to establish and maintain a system for conducting surveys and inventories of all historic structures within the town limits. This is a requirement by the South Carolina State Historic Preservation Office as a South Carolina certified certified local government. We are required to periodically do these surveys. We've had several surveys in the past that we've done, 1994, 2001, 2008, and 2019. So this is actually our 5th survey that we've undertaken. To give you a little bit of background, the purpose of the survey is to identify and document all historic properties, and in this particular instances, we looked at everything that has reached the age of 40 years old, which is constructed in 1986 or earlier. As particular note, this is just data. It's all it is. And this will serve as an accurate baseline for our historic preservation activities currently, and it may serve as a guide to future planning decisions should you all decide to do that in the future. When I talk about data, I'm showing you what the data looks like. All these resources were photographed. Here's a semblance of some of the photographs that were taken, and each comes attached with a 2-page form. I'm only showing you the first page of that form. That's what the data looks like. Our timeline, we began the process back in April of last year when we signed our contract with Stantec Inc. as our consultants. They presented the project to HPC as a kickoff in September. They did the field work here in Bluffton the later part of September. They provided their findings to HPC for informational purposes the beginning of February, and then I'm bringing it to you tonight for acceptance at your meeting. I'm happy to take questions. I'm not going to bore you with 381 pages of documentation, though I will offer you an opportunity if you have specific questions or if you want to view the document with me, you're certainly welcome to come into Town Hall to do that. Any questions?
Might be good reading if you're struggling sleeping one night.
Well, there was a time where we'd all get a copy.
We can furnish copies for you for your reading pleasure. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, this will do the trick.
All right, any questions from council? Is there a motion to accept the survey?
I move to accept the 2025 Bluffton Historic Resource Survey update.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you very much.
Up next, we have the consent agenda. Is there any of these items that council would like to remove or discuss, or? If not, would someone like to make a motion to accept them?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Up next, we have executive session, as we're moving right along. Oh, yeah, I got to tell you why. Sorry. Is there a motion? Is there a motion to go into executive session for discussions relating to potential contractual arrangements between the town and other parties related to grant applications and agreement pursuant to South Carolina Freedom of Information Act 30-4-70A1A2?
Is there a motion?
Second.
Is there a second? Say aye. Now we're in executive. no votes were taken, no action taken. Here, a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
We are.
Back to his old.